Hello, and welcome back to our podcast, Healing Our Community with Dr. Ray and Jean. Hi, I'm Dr. Ray.
And I'm Jean.
And in this episode, episode 6, we are having a real talk on women's mental health with Dr. Mariah Emond, who all of you here in Delta County know. She is the executive director of the chamber here and also a doctor as well. I don't know if you guys know all this. But we are talking about women's mental health today.
You know, fun fact, most research is done on male rats because male rats don't have a cycle that lasts for 5 days. So the female anatomy is very complicated. And I think most of us kind of fall into this because we live it.
Yeah. And I think what's interesting is that absolutely there is so much information out there. We might even call it misinformation, how we got here, what we do, and just kind of the general awareness of women's mental health has a lot to do with our physical health. And so the more we know about our physical health as women, the better it is for mental health. Because, Dr. Ray, let me just ask real quick, do you track or ever did your wife's cycles?
No.
Oh.
No. Even though we're raised Catholic, I probably should, but
right? And
no.
This is an interesting point, right? Like we live right next door to this person, and there are absolutely times in a women's cycle you should not have conflict resolution discussions.
Oh, I know that for a fact.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
right? And so this is where we get into when do we really start listening to our body's messages about cycles and resilience and patience? Because once irritability sets in, once that cycle sets in, it is really hard to like just function inside of ourselves, I would say, for personally, but then to have the opportunity to live with other people makes it really difficult. And so,
for sure.
Yeah. So how do we have really good health as women? We really have to start listening to our physiology.
I think about the teenage girls that we're working with, and their moms are like, and they're like that too. They're so hormonally unstable, and then they're dealing with the mean girls and all the drama and boys and all that stuff, and that's where it starts.
Yeah.
So when a girl goes through puberty, her brain rewires to be pleasing to others. And it rewires backwards in menopause.
Yep.
And so there's so much going on. Of course, the mother years too, where.
So you're talking about there's no like shepherding across the woman bridge, right? From teenage girl to becoming.
I don't know if it's stable enough to shepherd.
Yeah, it's really kind of a gamble. You open it up. The other thing that's really interesting too is that we have such an increased number of young females on birth control.
Yeah.
And it was not necessarily because they were sexually active, but because they were needing the cyclic suppression and regulation of their cycle to just be okay in the world again, right?
Well, yeah, because our food is impacting us.
Correct.
All the antibiotics in our food, that's why if you're on antibiotics, the pill doesn't work.
Yeah.
Because it affects our cycle. So many things affect our cycles.
Yeah. And I think if we just keep raising awareness about the things I do with and for my body absolutely impact my mental health and absolutely impact my like self-esteem and how I feel about that and how confident I am to get that thing done. And this is where I think it really is, if we were parenting and really looking at the lives of young women, we would probably parent differently because we really have an opportunity to kind of match where they are in their physical cycles to help them emotionally like overcome that moment. Like it may not be the time when they're in the bottom end of the cycle to be like, well, maybe you should do something about that. That is not the solution focused time to say something. You should just say, have some chocolate, go to your room, eat, and take care of yourself. It is not the time to fix that problem. And then when they come up and all of those hormones are now surging in the positive direction, you can say, go get them.
But our society doesn't really foster that. Right? That taking care of yourself. It's like you need to shut it down. You need to just plow through and go through life. Right. And yeah, I mean, what you're saying is, women have different needs than men do.
Yeah. And you think about it for you guys in general, think about your workout schedule at a gym. Consistency, consistency, consistency. It is all about that routine. Do the same, do not, just do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. Women actually were like, get it done, take time off and then go away.
Yeah.
right? And so if we're really following our natural cycles, we can be really productive for about 3 weeks, and then we really do need a week off.
Have you heard of the red tent?
Yes.
Yeah.
What a great idea,
And where, when women live together, their cycles sync together. And when we lived in tribes, the women would go to the red tent and hang out for a week.
Yeah.
Because that's what you would do. I was kind of thinking about my own experience, and I didn't live in a culture where you could just act out. I didn't. And then I went to the Army when I was 18, which of course you cannot act out. And so maybe suppression, I'm not really sure. But I think I've been pretty emotionally stable until menopause.
Amen. Let's talk about perimenopause.
I don't want to go back to
more,
that.
right? I like to talk about
First,
perimenopause.
we actually have a question here.
Oh, okay.
Hi, what is one thing women can start doing in their routine to take care of their physical and mental health in order to be more balanced?
Oh, I love it. Okay, so number one is actually charting and understanding, like when is the first day you're bleeding? That's day one. What kind of arc that it shapes? Some women have, and really like thinking through this, and there's plenty of journals and things out there that kind of also help. You also need different dietary moments when you're in your cycle, whether you need more iron, whether you're looking at potassium, and you definitely need more magnesium, right?
And you want to binge.
Right? So number one thing is just like understand your cycle, and then follow that up with the actual nutritional components that help those things happen, right? And then for mental health, then what you really want to do is think about, I don't need to do, so if day one is your first day of your menses, day 14 would be, I could probably interact with the world in a more constructive way and get the conflict resolved. In the bottom of those first couple of days, we probably shouldn't be doing anything heavy, right? Just let it go, right? Don't schedule those meetings. Don't try to get a new thing done. Schedule based on what your body's actually able to provide, right? And 3, get some sleep, people. Like, go to bed and get 7 or 8 hours of sleep. Like, this whole 6-hour thing is not helping us, right? Absolutely. Because the closer we are to 35, and perimenopause could start anywhere at 35. It can last for 10 years. So from 35 to 45, you could be in perimenopause, which means things are changing. So we always want to think about, and there's not really a good, you can do a lot of blood work. You can check levels of lots of things. Yes, it's possible, but it's not very concrete because that's not the way testing works inside of a hormonal body. Okay.
It's a little snapshot and then you change your face.
Yeah. So, you don't want to, you just want to take your own journaling and think about what you're doing. So in perimenopause, if you're in your 40s, generally speaking, that's when things go haywire.
That's when you occasionally stop ovulating.
Yes.
That's where the haywire starts.
Right. And you're not,
even if your cycle is regular.
Yes, you're right. But you don't necessarily know that, right? Because it's not like we're down there, taking a pulse and it's saying yes or no, I did or didn't, right? Your body's still moving through, but you're changing in estrogen. And the other thing is that there's a lot of non-conforming symptoms of perimenopause. I would say there's 47 different recognized symptoms of perimenopause, and we're only looking for hot flashes and this thing.
What would be a couple of them that people wouldn't even know about?
Itching ears, burning scalp, changes of the way you smell things. Certain things now smell absolutely horrible that maybe you didn't smell before.
You can eat different things because they don't smell like they used to smell.
Yeah. Right. So changes in smell. You can actually have a musculoskeletal disorder where joints bilaterally hurt. Now, usually if you're working out, you hurt one joint, but it's not bilateral. You wake up in the morning, you're like, why can't my elbows move? That's actually perimenopause. That is a change of your body's ability to work inside of your muscular skeletal.
Is that why you can eat certain vegetables now?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's fancy.
Yeah.
One other thing that I think is really important is meditation.
Ooh, totally.
Meditation is a way that we can get in touch with all those things you're talking about.
Yes.
We're so disconnected. When we're in the mother phase, it's about everybody else, right? We got to know what's going on with the kids, what's going on with everybody else. And meditation, even, you don't have to do it for an hour a day. You can do 10 minutes and just get in touch with yourself. And that will begin a regulation of the stress hormones.
Yes.
And, there's a million different meditations on YouTube. It's nothing fancy. Just And people think they can't meditate, but the only goal of meditation is to become an observer of yourself. So if you are closing your eyes and you see that your brain is doing a lot of thinking, you're still meditating, you're observing yourself. So you can't do it wrong.
True that. And really, I think as women, the number one thing we do poorly is control stress,
Yes.
right? We stuff it. It's fine. I'm okay. And we charge through. And that is absolutely the wrong way to think about stress. So if we were to really de-stress intentionally every day, doing whatever the thing that makes us the most de-stressed, right? So some people, it's going to be painting or journaling or walking outside. Other people
I used
might
to
want to
repaint
work out.
my walls.
There you go. Repaint your walls.
Remember that? I haven't done it in a while.
Over and over and over again.
Right?
Yeah.
But if we could just understand the implication of adding cortisol into our body and how that every other hormone, and we have more hormones than just our like estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, all of the hormones are impacted by cortisol.
Mhm.
And when you dump cortisol into your body, hence the haywire,
Yeah.
right? It absolutely adds an extra component. So if you can stress less or de-stress, if you can't stress less,
Yeah.
de-stress, that is like
And
one.
in general, in the United States, the level of cortisol is through the roof for everyone.
Mhm.
We're
Yeah.
all like functioning at this level of being on edge.
Yep.
If you're waking up at 3 a.m., that's cortisol filling up in your body, and you already have too much, and your body already dumped in some more. That's your wake up call to like, I need to de-stress.
So let me ask you this. Why isn't this information being taught in school and, so that women know about this? I mean, it just seems like, there's a void of information.
Yeah. I think that women's health is identified as sexual health, which is not true. It is women's health is just health. Our biology is different. We need different kinds of role modeling and mentoring. We need to talk about it. And I think so many of us didn't really get any talking about, right? We barely got kind of the birds and the bees about a menstrual cycle, but to talk about perimenopause, we're trying to backlog it, right? And so I think what everybody needs to think about is that if you are a woman, get educated. There are some great, amazing resources out there right now of women who are actually doing science-based research about what
Who's your
needs to
top
happen.
three?
Dr. Mary Claire Haver. She wrote, she's got lots of books. She's got a great Facebook presence. Dr. Vonda Wright, she is talking about how, and these are women with medical degrees, like MD medical doctorates, right? And they are in this space saying, you got to lift the weights. You got to take care of your bones. You got to take care of your brains. Like, why are women at higher risk for Alzheimer's? How about that low-fat diet you've been on?
Yeah.
Problematic, right? And so how do we, right now we're just filling the space up with, let's get science backed, because whoever said you can't take hormone replacement there because it increases breast cancer, that's not true. And research has been, there are more research done on our male dysfunction than there are in women's menopause. And
Male rats. Yep.
Well, to be fair, the men's hormonal cycle is within 12 hours, I think, or within 24 hours. So it's a lot easier to kind of get a baseline versus a 28-day cycle.
Right.
That's a lot more difficult. So that's why a lot of research is based on that.
Yeah. So research has to come back in, education has to come back in. We have to demystify that women's health is not sexual health. It's just health. Like, we're just talking about the endocrine functions inside of your body and how they affect your brain. And to make it a more commonplace discussion about neurophysiology is really guiding us as in the psychiatry field and psychology, because we don't just open up your brain and we don't look. Right?
And there's also this other thing that happens when you have a hormonal shift. You can have invasive thinking, and you might think you're a little crazy, and you might not want to talk about it. And it's false thinking. And it's really kind of disturbing. And, I'm on the other side of menopause, and that's gone, and it's lovely. And I only know that because I went through it. And it's like, what is that thought? And the thought is not just a thought. It's like this doom.
Yeah. It's
feeling
hopelessness. And it's, what the hell am I doing in my life? Can I say that word?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
your pituitary gland wakes up and is like, I'm not doing that anymore. This sucks. And it really causes a lot of disruption and disturbance in, am I going to be divorced? Am I going to stay married? What's going to happen to me? Those are those thoughts that you really want to say. That's one of those, like, maybe unsaid symptoms of perimenopause is like, I wasn't a pessimist before.
Right.
Be careful where our thoughts go. Who's reinforcing or supporting us? Because if we have those, like, oh, things did change, then we can get new tools that are all the way down the road to say, oh, my prescribed.
Right. The worst thing that could happen, right? Just throw medication.
You know, Dr. Christian Northrup, she's another one that's written a lot of good books.
Yes.
And she would say that PMSing women don't speak with a forked tongue, they speak with a sharp tongue. They're in this little, there is a day of the month, a lot of truth. And you kind of, you suppress. And when you do menopause every 2 years, you don't listen to me. It's complicated. That's why people talk. Stable feeling.
And it's kind of new to be like, oh gosh, I was never quite so upfront or assertive before. And it's your, like, coming out of its little moment there to say,
Yeah.
hey, things are changing. Are you recognizing? Can you change with me? Can you support me as I change?
And that's a little note there for the guys that are on the, just what's going on.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Get to truth
Yes,
and
and
stop.
you know, but from to accept that this is happening and evolve. Thank you so much, Dr. Mariah, for being on our
Thank you.
podcast today.
Just give a little shout out for these things right here. This is the Wilma did so the
Council tree wells.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it was a really great part of the community.
Well, thank you for joining us. Live team until county.
Yeah, next.